Welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. We have to rearrange the furniture a little bit. We're getting down to brass tacks, and we're bringing you all the latest information, including me not being entirely centered in the picture. But hi, everybody. Welcome. There's a lot going on. I mean, there's a whole lot to unpack, especially when it comes to injuries. Oh, my God. Of course, seated across from me, on your left, matriculating on your screen from left to right, Damaz. Say hello to the nice people.
Hello, nice people.
Mr. Masaracchio.
Happy week 7 in the NFL.
Week 7, and it's bananas. And seated next to him, hunched over a phone, lean over and say hi to the nice people.
Hi, nice people.
Have to lean over a little more, right? A little more. Keep going.
Hi, nice people.
Move your microphone over. You're going to have to move your microphone over.
Okay.
I try. I really do. We're going to need to see more of you. But that is at least a third of the Guru's Guru. And we're gonna get right down to brass tacks. How's your first round of your fantasy mock draft look?
for me or for everyone?
Yeah,
not very good.
For anybody,
not very good.
Fantasy mock draft.
You know what's interesting?
Let's say late August.
We spend, at least I do, and I know a lot of the guys out there spend, and women, weeks mock drafts, planning, Rich Eisen tweets. I mean, it can go on and on and on and on. Let me tell you what the first round was this year.
I'm zooming you in. I'm centering you while you're giving your soliloquy. I don't give a shit anymore. It's just like, The
consensus first round. Now, again, this is not the exact, but this is consensus first round. Barkley, Kamara, McCaffrey, Elliott, Bell, Hopkins, Connor, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, Pat Mahomes, who, by the way, got hurt on Thursday night, and David Johnson. Okay, consensus first round, 12 teams in the league. I went through. I got 3 of those guys hitting value in first round so far this year. 3. Yeah. Now, again, there's injuries. It's the NFL. There's some unpredictability, and there's a lot of changes and stuff like that. But my point is this, is that every year we fret about the first round, even the second round. And every year, at least to this point, I've said that it's not winning or losing necessarily your leagues in the first round. It's in the later rounds where it counts. It's finding guys with value. It's being able to build a balanced team. It's not being able to reach for players based on hype. And again, just doing your homework and creating a balanced team. Some of the guys that maybe should have been in the first round this year, that if you're fortunate enough to have them on your team, guys like Dalvin Cook. Okay, now a lot of guys, he may have went in the second round, so he was a guy that was maybe on the turn in some of your leagues, but Dalvin Cook's been a beast. Nick Chubb.
I've seen him go at 11 and 12.
Yeah, I mean,
Chubb as well, 11 and 12.
It's been close.
Borderline
These guys are fringe players, but here's a guy that may have won his latest third or fourth round, Leonard Fournette. Big comeback this year. Now, only 1 touchdown so far this year, but he's second in yards, and he's averaging 23, 24 touches a game. How about the receiver that I talked about all offseason, Chris Godwin for Tampa? First, I think he's third in the league in red zone targets. Second in yards, having a hell of a year. And what about Baby Shark, DJ Baby Shark? Is that the song? Or the Who's this guy coming out of nowhere? All right.
Well,
now again, maybe not even drafted in most leagues.
Some of us who own him in some leagues, we saw him coming. But.
Yeah, waiver wire pickups. But my point is that you got first round production on a guy that wasn't even on most people's radar. So it's going to happen. There's going to be situations where guys are going to make big splashes on the scenes and other things like that. But it's just about doing your homework and not reaching for players just because they're familiar names or there's hype or anything like that. So interesting so far start to the season, and a lot of surprises yet to unfold in the NFL.
You look at these. You look at a lot of these blue chippers. I mean, we're talking some top 5 guys who missed a lot of time.
Yeah, well, you got guys like in the first round.
Saquon, premier amongst them, and now we're getting into Devontae Adams is now going on his 4th game out.
Yeah, and Elliott's back now. His timeshare, snap share,
missed 3 games.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks he's up north of 90%, so he looks like he's back to full strength. So again, now things may change if you're redrafting now. Some of these guys may go back into the first round, like an Elliott, perhaps like a Barkley. I mean, these guys are still going to be first round production, maybe moving forward, but unfortunately, you may have been hurt in the last several weeks because those guys have either been hurt or they just haven't been able to reach that first round production.
Well, and for me, at least in one league, I kind of gambled heavily on the Chiefs' offense in general. And in one league, I went like Chiefs. Went Damian Williams, Patrick Mahomes. I believe I've had like every.
Did you have Tyreek Hill? I think you had Tyreek Hill.
No, I didn't have Tyreek Hill.
Watkins,
but I had
Hardman.
Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey. Okay, yeah.
But at one time or another, I also had one of either Robinson or Mecole Hardman. Yeah, all of it. I mean, I've had one of those guys pick them up, drop them, pick them up, almost like I'm streaming their wide receivers.
Yeah.
And over the last 3 weeks, now culminating here in this fourth disaster week, I've lost 4 games in a row because you've had 3 games where there's almost nearly no touchdowns being scored by that offense, nearly none, or a few being scored and there's no yardage. So teams are learning to slow them down, and that has really killed me.
Yeah, well, like
now
we said earlier before the break, teams and players and stuff like that, guys bust on the scene, all this talent. You're like, the greatest player ever, like a Mahomes type guy.
Demarcus Robinson.
And listen, Mahomes is a worldly talent. There's no question. But what happens is nobody stands alone in the NFL for long because teams catch up. Defenses catch up. Preparation catch up. All these guys are A-level athletes. And obviously, it's the best of the best.
Yep.
So, that's why there's so much parity in the NFL, because from week to week, it's pretty much a different league. Matchups are important. There's so many factors that go into it. But the bottom line is, as good as Mahomes has been, he's still a top-tier talent and will be when he comes back. But unfortunately, if you took a first-round flyer with a quarterback, like we said, kind of not to do,
you're screwed.
It's probably going to hurt you. Yeah, for sure. So hopefully you've got enough. Hopefully some of the guys you drafted in the later rounds that we talked about are going to be able to carry you enough through so that you can absorb losing a first-round guy like a Mahomes.
Okay, and I do believe the guru's guru.
I saw a hand go up a few times.
Who is still furiously typing away on his phone. What are you after, brother? What you were looking to chime in?
I'm trying to get the chat line up on my phone.
The chat room. What do you mean, the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk chat room?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're still half in the picture. You're going to have to. I know Matt might smell a little funny. There you go. Just turn. There you go.
By the way, that's a medical condition. That's not something I can do anything about.
So. Okay, so guru, my guru, you have some input.
No, you were talking about Kansas City. The problem there is like what you have in New England. It's a different guy every week. Whether for Kansas City, it's receiver, and New England, it's running back. So I know that only Hill is the only first rounder to the conversation goes. But in your complaint in Kansas City, that's a situation. It's just a different guy every week. You can't predict who it is.
Yeah, it's just I know on my part it was overreach. I'm a year too late. But also with the advent that Tyreek Hill is back, he still takes the tops off of defenses, and it still bodes well for Travis Kelce, whom I believe I own him in 2 of my 3 leagues. So that's a big gamble. The Mahomes injury affects me adversely.
I'm in the chat room.
You're in the chat room.
Michael Bigley. He's got a baseball kind of thing, which makes sense to me, too. I was more upset about leaving Britain in the game last night. I know we just sidetracked here, but anyway, what a game last night.
We cover sports.
Holy crap, what a game.
I stayed up for it. I'm usually in bed by midnight.
Yeah, and hello, Iris, and hello, Brian.
We're doing shout-outs. Well, let me tell you, I've got a couple of shout-outs because I don't know if anybody else knew, but across the Facebook and Twitter universe, my birthday was Thursday.
Happy belated birthday.
Yes,
again.
I'm 104. And I got birthday notices. I got birthday mentions or salutations from one Mr. Rusty Brooks, who should actually probably be a Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer by now, as many people as he's put in the large major leagues, and the guy who trained me to be a pro wrestler. And thank you so much, Mr. Brooks. And Mr. Richmond Webb, my absolute all-time favorite Miami Dolphin offensive lineman of all time. I mean, that guy, him and Dwight Stevenson, BEST best. And he sent me a happy birthday, and I'm like, oh my God! I totally celebbed out. I was like, starstruck. I mean, it's Richmond Webb, and some of these people go, Richmond Webb. It's like, yeah, millennial.
Yeah, really.
Richmond Webb.
Yeah.
Look it up. Google him.
Didn't you
awesome.
get?
He was great.
You also got.
Thank you so much for the happy birthdays. So there's my shout out.
A new and upcoming famous radio personality, Damaz, I think sent you a happy birthday as well. Not on the Richmond Webb level, of course, but certainly.
What is that short for? Damaz
I'm not sure.
It sounds like an '80s proto-punk band that was produced by Prince.
That was on the Berlin top charts for about 4 weeks, yeah, and then just fell off.
It's got the like keyboard that and you wear a lot of eye makeup.
I don't wear any eye makeup.
No, and like lace ruffles and
No lace ruffles either.
you open for the time.
All right, so we got some
That's
football.
Morris Day in the time.
Yeah, we got some football to talk about.
We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. First of all, congratulations to the Houston Astros and to Altuve has got to be about 5'5".
They list him at 5'6", 180, but
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
sure.
They got taller ball
Sure.
boys, but
Sure.
bat boys. I mean,
Yeah.
Concentrated.
Yeah.
concentrated. That's some concentrated oomph. And he put the oomph to work at the bottom of the ninth.
Just a
walk-off homer,
baller.
Just absolute. The bat speed's ridiculous. I mean, I saw him play when he was really, really young against the Marlins, and the bat speed is ridiculous.
Did you see Chapman's expression when he gave up the home run? It was like he was stuck on the mound and frozen in time, and I would have probably
Awkward.
cut off his right arm because he needs a left one to pitch. Cut off his right arm to get that pitch back because he was as surprised and as shocked as anybody in that stadium. And then it's just an incredible finish to an incredible series.
He had a look on his face like, I think a little pea came out.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, you know what? And here's what's really funny, okay? Because these super huge, multimillionaire superstar players, they're all pals, especially in the major leagues. There's a lot of buddies, a lot of guys from the same hometown in the Dominican.
Yes,
A lot of-
nationalism is huge in
and
baseball,
so
yeah.
it's hard not to be happy for your friend.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
oh, I know, I knew little Altuve when he was here. Yeah, but that was definitely an uncomfortable. Oh shit, what do I do now? I'm gonna leave. Yeah. So, but congratulations to them, and congratulations to everybody in the South Florida nightclub industry, because whenever there is a New York team in either the playoffs or the finals in any sport, your club is dead until that game is over.
That's true.
Your club is dead until that game is over, and it helps us.
I wonder
mean,
what kind of TV share rating they'll get with the Nationals in Houston. Houston's a big
Houston
market.
is the
Nationals are a big market.
number 5 or 6 market in the country.
Yeah, but national though I'm talking. I mean, I know that Houston, obviously, they've been to the World Series. They drew pretty good ratings the last couple of times they've been in. Washington, though, I mean,
Well, the Nationals' advantage is that, like New England, like the New England Patriots, okay, believe me, in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Connecticut, Rhode Island, that's Patriot country. That is all Patriots all the time. Patriots. Okay, you don't see a little New York Jets or Buffalo Bills bleed in northern New York or whatever, but that's Patriots country, New England. The same has to be said for the Nationals. Even though Baltimore has an American League team and they're a pro team, you'll see people in Baltimore rooting for the Nationals. And the Nationals have Virginia, North Carolina. Where's North Carolina's baseball
There
team?
should
You know
be
what I'm
some
saying?
excitement
they
up
have
there.
the Mid-Atlantic region
Yeah.
behind them.
I mean, locally, I
they're
think they'll
gonna
do
get
okay.
They're going to get good ratings, and they're going to get ratings in an area where they didn't really get them, which, like I said, the Carolinas.
We'll see.
Tennessee, okay, so congratulations. It's going to be a very interesting World Series. It's Cinderella versus a team who's elevated themselves to a consistent championship level. So
you know what, though, real quick, though, the pitching is evened out slightly now because you got your big starters in Houston with Cole and with Greinke, obviously
yeah.
Verlander.
Oh, you're gonna see some
but the
epic
Nationals
pitching.
got a few guys, too. They got that guy with one eye, brown, blue, green, whatever the hell, Max Scherzer. He's obviously a Cy Young winner.
He's a witch.
Patrick Corbin.
Maybe a robot.
Their pitching is pretty good, too, so it should be a pretty good series.
Yeah, I totally. It's good. 3 strong starters on both sides.
Strasburg, yeah, the other one,
and
yeah.
you have you have one side has a strong bullpen, but Washington has a weak bullpen.
Nationals bullpen is not great.
Yeah.
Gotten better at spots through the year. I followed them closely. They're decent. They're not bad. Their matchups are.
Look at this. I mentioned baseball, and he's
It's
ready to go with
I just flipped some
everything. It's
numbers.
all in his head.
All right. So anyway, it's not baseball. It's football today now. So let's switch back. Even though I love baseball. Oh man.
the guru's like, okay, you talk about baseball. I'm going to continue answering questions. Have we got any questions in the chat room or on the Guru's Guru page?
Checking.
No.
Edelman.
No, just a statement. Just a statement that Edelman's going to do well on Monday night.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
With no
Edelman's
Gordon.
going to do well on Monday night.
Yeah. that injury tag. All right, listen. Can we have a little quick roundtable discussion
Yes.
about the injuries?
Yes,
Every person,
because we got the injury report coming out in about
every
15
person
minutes.
seems to have that little red Q by him at this point in the season, don't they? I mean, how much do you put into that? I mean, when you're making your lineups or you're looking ahead for daily and stuff like that.
I've got one next to my name.
I wake up every day with a Q next to mine too.
Yesterday when I woke up, there was a D.
Yeah, well, no, you don't want a D next to your name. That's either deceased or dead. You don't want one of those.
No, it was doubtful.
Oh, well,
It was
no,
doubtful.
okay,
And
that's fine.
I got up and stretched, and the coach had
They
a
upgraded you to questionable after that?
coach had a teleconference that said that I will be dressed,
Yeah, let's hope so.
which means I had to put on pants.
And underwear, hopefully. But the point about this whole designations and stuff like that, I think a lot of it is just kind of like smoke and mirrors for the most part, because like we talked about, and if you ask the players if they're hurt, of course they're going to tell you publicly no, but behind the scenes, these guys are probably hours and hours in the training room just getting
I
ready for
can't
the
be
game.
injured. I still got Vicodin.
Yeah, it's football. I mean, you see how hard these guys are hitting each other and how violent the game is. Everybody's hurt. So it's just the guys, it's men among men that play this
Yeah,
sport.
it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Did you catch Ballers like I told you to? Did you catch the series Ballers on HBO?
Not yet.
No. Very pertinent. I mean, because the subject matter really gets into the modern day collective bargaining and taking care of the players.
Again, we've talked about it. I'm aware. I just
Yeah.
haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, well,
That's
watch
I'm-
the whole damn
Well,
series.
what I will, when I get some time, I'll be able to go ahead and sit down and catch the
It's
whole thing.
won awards. The man's a great actor.
All right, whatever. I watched Central Intelligence yesterday, if that counts. So
Ew.
I know it was really bad. So
All right, well, what else you got?
well, we can finish up on injuries. Some of the key ones we talked about that are not playing that we know for sure. Let's go back to guys that we are playing, because there's one guy that I do want to mention before I forget. Arizona Cardinals today, playing the Giants. Patrick Peterson.
Two horrible defenses.
But on one side, they're getting one of their best players back. Patrick Peterson comes back today from a suspension, so he's in the
Right.
lineup today.
Well, and dare I say, the Giants' defense has actually played a little better the last couple of weeks. Okay, they're getting to the quarterback a little better. They're
Yeah.
defending the pass a little better. So they're a defense that's improving. I mean, they had their first 4 games were a horror show.
Yeah, well, last
Okay,
week, too,
yeah.
I think they were riding high because they finally were a little bit healthy after the
Yeah.
previous week having no one on offense.
yeah.
But this week, they're back to missing Shepard, even though
Well, that's the
Barkley's
offense, though.
Well, no, I'm saying going back and forth as a team. The
Right.
team approach has been a positive thing where because people were like, well, first when Daniel Jones came in, they were like, oh, here go the Giants, and some of the Giants
Danny
fans were making the
Dimes.
playoffs. Come on, seriously. The point is that
See, the Guru's not impressed with Danny Dimes.
he's thrown over 250 yards once so far this year.
Meh.
So
It's like, Carr throws for 251
I know.
yards.
That's what I'm saying. So one time he's reached that plateau.
So go ahead.
No, so my point is that it's their defense will be better today. The Cardinals will be better today. I think if you're looking at that game in particular, I think the Cardinals is probably the way to go, because I think overall that team is trending in a much better direction. Even though David Johnson is playing today.
He's playing.
Too.
He's
So
playing.
Well, my counterpoint to you is that the Giants defense has been showing improved play as well. And even though a lot of people see this as a lower echelon sort of a, toilet bully type of a game where it's, two schmo teams, one's, both with, rookie quarterbacks.
second highest total on the board, by the way, Vegas.
Yeah, so they're expecting all kinds of
fireworks.
Scaring, yeah, fireworks.
Yeah.
With Saquon Barkley coming back, I mean, the question was asked, exactly how many touches, what kind of workload are they going to give him? And I put it to you that he was practicing 9 days ago.
Yeah.
9 days. They have had to hold him back. They have literally had to have a trainer stand there and just like, no, don't go anywhere. You need to stay right here. Because otherwise he'll go ride the bike. He'll go run. He'll go lift something. I mean, because he is, I'm telling you, he's a robot.
22?
He's a robot.
23?
22.
Yeah.
He may actually be bulletproof.
Yeah, possible.
I mean, because he sprained his ankle, nobody gets over a high ankle sprain in 8 days. 8 days. He was jogging after 8 days.
Yeah.
He was running after 12.
I am not the one to buy into all this hyperbole and this and whatever crap. He was hurt. We don't know. We can't tell you how bad the ankle sprain was. There's different levels and degrees. They call level 1, level 2. I don't care about any of that crap.
All right.
If he's healthy to play, he
touches.
plays.
Number of touches. Over under 20.
Probably because of game flow, I'm going to say over. And because there's no
Gallman's
Shepard
out.
and no Gallman. So, yeah, I mean, just necessity is going to dictate that he can handle. Now, if he can handle it, he'll get more. But I guarantee you they're watching it closely, regardless of what Barkley's been telling them, regardless of how much he's lifted or how much he's ridden the bike. They're going to know by watching him in the first series or two where he's at. They're going to be able to then every eye in the building is going to be watching him in the Giants.
Well, the beauty about that kid is he is a 21st century monster athlete with a 20th century lunch pail mentality. Okay, you literally have to hold him off the field.
If I was going to game script that game, though, right now, looking at the fact that you got Peterson coming back, you got Murray, that is the only quarterback in history so far to start a season with 20 straight completions in his first 6 games. Okay,
Right.
First guy ever. Now, again, it's a passing league and all this other crap, and I don't like to go back and say he's this, he's that, but that's fact. Okay, he's throwing the football pretty well, and he's getting better, and the team seems to be getting a little better.
Right.
And the stuff that we all thought about, like Arians and the genius and the quarterback, it looks like it's starting to somewhat come together. You're seeing the puzzle kind of
Starting
pieces
to
start to
congeal.
fit. The Giants have been like this all year, mostly this,
Right.
but now with a Daniel Jones and a little bit of peak of interest
It's
and there's some
injuries,
excitement.
though.
The two teams on the field, Arizona thinks the better team.
Yeah.
And if we're worried about your first question with Barkley touches, what about game script? What if Arizona gets out to a lead in this game and Giants are chasing in the third and fourth quarter by a couple of scores? You think they're going to lean on Barkley coming off the injury? Maybe not. So
They'll throw it to him though.
but no, lean on him in any perspective. Get him involved in the offense. What
Oh.
if he comes out today and they look at him and they say, you know what? He's not 100%, he's 90%. And that is in their mind that he's not 100%.
So 90% of Saquon Barkley is like 115% of anybody else.
I understand that. But when you're looking at the future of your franchise and you're down 2 scores to perhaps the second worst team in football to this point, and you're going nowhere as a season, and your guys come off this ankle sprain where everybody's out for 6 weeks and he missed 4 days, they're probably going to err on the side of caution.
Well, first of all, let me correct you that the worst team in the NFL is the Miami Dolphins.
I'm just being facetious. I
The
know that.
second worst team in the NFL is the Cincinnati Bengals. Then maybe the third worst team in the NFL is the New York Giants.
I know.
Maybe.
All right. Well, a little overstated.
I wasn't impressed with Washington either. So,
There's some bad football
you
teams.
know.
You're right, Carlo. I just said they're not that bad, and they're not. But they're not a
I'm
playoff
picking at
team.
nits. I'm nitpicking, but still.
I'm worried about the fact that if game flow doesn't go the Giants' way, and they're already against the 8 ball, they're missing Shepard. Jones hasn't been spectacular. The hype is starting to outplay or forecast what he's actually doing on the field. I don't know. Just be careful in that game, the Giants. That's all.
The guru is jotting real-time information.
Yeah, there's
a flurry.
There's an RFQ. Let me get some
I'm,
information.
okay,
first.
I'm paying note to it because the 11:30 injury report is coming up in 7 minutes.
Active report.
Or active report. You are now getting real-time updates, and that's a beautiful thing.
Hello, Robert. My nephew's listening. He chimed in about Trubinsky and the Bears. He says he's back, but I don't think it's going to help the team.
I was going to say, how great was he doing
Yeah.
when he wasn't back?
You know, I've never been a Trubinsky guy, ever. And the part, and like we talked about with him, what I noticed about him, I think it was the game before he got hurt. They had a snap clock on him, which meant that they were timing how quickly he was getting ready to the football.
Because he's supposed to have a quick release.
No, he's a one-read guy.
Oh, okay,
He's
well.
not looking at the defense and going, okay, like a Brady or a Rodgers that's pre-snap read. Okay,
Goes open.
Where's the safety? Mike Blitz over here, whatever. He's not doing that. He's getting to the line of scrimmage. He knows he's got Cohen here. He knows he's got here Jeffrey, whatever, not Jeffries, but he's got whoever over here, and it's pre-snap, boom, boom. Less than 2 seconds every time. Why? Because they don't want him thinking. They don't want him to be able to get out of the pocket and have to make a play because he can't. He's not accurate, and he's not a good quarterback.
You know, that's the one thing that scares me because we talk about right now we're down to the point where, you know, in this potential 0-16 season for the Miami Dolphins, and they're playing the stinking Buffalo Bills today. I'm going to be watching like this, like I can't look anymore.
You need the Bills today.
I hate it's Bills are 1A, the Jets are 1B,
Where are the
and
Patriots?
are 1C.
No, Patriots
It's
are 1, 2, 3
three.
for
Well,
me.
they're in the division. I've hated them forever, but the fact remains that I'm worried about teams that could potentially go after a quarterback in next year's draft because there's going to be like 8 taken in the first 2 rounds. 8. Easily 8. There's 8 quality young arms coming out of the college ranks.
All
next year.
NFL ready. I mean, these
All
kids
of
are coming out now, and you see
All of them. The kid in Utah.
it's like if you look to the bench on these
Burrows
teams,
at LSU.
you're like, who's next guy up? Because that guy's going to be ready. I mean, it's
Right.
all year long. Minshew and Allen and all these other quarterbacks that are
right, and
that are
we've
playing.
got a nice batch this year.
Yeah.
So and they still haven't heard from Drew Lock because he's been on injured reserve in Denver, and he had his moments in preseason. He also was a tire fire in preseason.
Yeah.
But next year you have a plethora of young quarterbacks coming up, and you have these teams that may be in a position to act on some buyer's remorse, a la Mitch Trubisky, a la it's like because I mean that Trubisky. It doesn't seem to be getting it with Nagy, I mean, as simple as that.
And you know what the thing
which
was?
one are you going to get rid of?
Well, you're not going to get rid of Nagy. The thing was early on is that quarterback genius coach, and look what he's doing for Trubinsky, and he's putting you in positions to win. It only goes so far. The player's got to be able to play. You know, I mean, you got to be able to make plays.
Yeah, and you can be a quarterback coach and fail at being the guru with a kid, and you'll get fired. Okay, you'll go to the next quarterback, but head coach, quarterback guru, and you're not good, there's no sign of improvement, then the player gets looked at. The player gets moved along. And, I mean, with the exception of the backwards-ass way they did it with Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill, I'm not bitter, but it concerns me the number of teams that could be potentially looking for a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
And I've got to add the Chicago Bears to that list.
I would imagine
Because,
so, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at 5 kids that may be better than he is at just that, making at least a second or a third read, going through a progression, and still keeping it under 3 seconds.
Well, again,
I mean, there's a lot of sharp cats out there.
The knock here is not to be able to knock it rid of the ball quickly. Brady does it all the time. But Brady can get through 3 reads in 2 seconds, whereas Trubisky is pre-read one guy throw, and then after that, it's a complete breakdown. Then it's just it's hodgepodge. So, yeah, huge difference there. That's how that works.
This just in. We have a list of
Guru, I got a question for you.
Conundrum.
My buddy Carl. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Chimed in and asked for either Mike Williams or Golden Tate.
That's
Good.
What he has in his hands.
You guys go ahead and moderate that then. Yeah, Mike Williams or Golden Tate?
Tough one. You know what? Golden Tate, he had like 9 or 10 targets the first week he played with Daniel Jones.
He will have Patrick Peterson on him today, though.
That's what I thought today. And that may free Ingram up a little bit. So I'm not
probably
quite
still a little swole from the PEDs he was using, which is the reason why he got,
Yeah.
What, he was smoking weed or something?
The guy's the best at what he does. An Eli High School product from Broward County.
Yeah.
And a 2-time All-Pro and Pro Bowler every year that he's been healthy in the
And they're
league.
still not trading him.
Yeah, I think he's a 3-time All-Pro. Did you say 2 or 3? I think he's 3 times.
2-time All-Pro.
I think I read 3, but either way.
And Mike Williams coming off of injury.
He might be 3.
Yeah, I think he's 3. But yeah, because I just read him this morning. That's why I'm so versed on Peterson coming back. But yeah, you're right. I don't know, Carl. It seems to me like he said Peterson on the cover is tough. So is it Mike Williams maybe in some garbage time? Maybe he's got some additional playing garbage time in that game?
Well, he's playing against Tennessee. Okay,
Solid
Tennessee
defense.
is a very solid, balanced defense. I mean, they're not spectacular in the secondary. They're not spectacular on the front 7.
Who's
but
favored?
Wait a minute. Now look, if Tennessee has scored 21 points a game every game this year, they'd be 6-0.
I know they'd win every game. Yeah.
So that's a very good defense.
Yeah.
That's
no
why
question.
they're going to Ryan Tannehill right now.
By the way, who's their coach for Tennessee?
That would be Vrabel. Mike Vrabel.
Pretty good
Patriot
Steeler
guy.
No, I know, but it's pretty good Steeler linebacker. Maybe he knows a little bit about defense. You know? Like he was one of the best defenses for a few years, so he's got a pretty good idea what that works. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, also a pretty good Patriots linebacker. What's your point?
After the Steelers. Yeah.
Well, I mean the numbers play out here as the guru has provided me, and your average wide receiver slot for Tate is 17th and Williams is 19th. So you're in a pretty tight window there.
Yeah.
So I mean you could pretty much
Well, let's
toss
make a call
coin.
because we asked the question. We got to make an answer. So because of the Peterson factor, I'm going Williams, regardless of the defense. Because I'm going regression. You're right. They haven't given up many points this year. They're not going to carry this the entire year. There'll be a game where they give up an extra touchdown or 2. Maybe it's this week. So for me, it's Williams.
And Hair Guru.
Yeah, if I had a Tennessee fantasy player, I'd take a running back. So to Eckler and Melvin, But receivers, I'm stuck with Keenan Allen. And what are you going to do? Second round pick, I got to play him, but I'm not happy about it.
Mike Williams is a good player or not?
No,
Well, you choose. You have to choose between Williams.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So you take it.
And I'm taking Golden Tate regardless.
You take
Okay.
one Tate, one Williams. Gonzo?
Only because Gonzo's. The Giants have no options. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go with Golden Tate as well because, once again, Sterling Shepard is out.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram's is still a game time
no,
decision.
Ingram's playing. He's
playing.
healthy. He's good to
active.
go. Shepard is out.
Ingram is playing.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's come back with that active list after a quick break, so that any of you can go pee or whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And make sure you check out the slideshow, the awesome, hilarious slideshow, and we will be back with your actives and inactives in fantasy football right after this. Ba-boom bots. Welcome back to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. The information is just pouring in, the actives and inactives. And like we gave you a little tease before the break, Evan Ingram, tight end, New York Giants, he will be active. Before we get into the list, which I'm sure you're all sitting there waiting, yes. I would like to pull off a shameless plug. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., the Gonzo Radio Show here on the Gonzo Radio Network. By the way, like and subscribe if you would. Take a moment and subscribe. And check out the show. Tomorrow night's a little entertainment, a little comedy, a little wacky news, a little interview, stand-up comedian, and Kindred Cranky Soul. Yeah, her Facebook posts are a riot. Because she's saltier than me. Giovanni Neal will be joining me here in the studio, seated where Demaz is right now, but
Not literally, because I won't be
much
here.
shorter. She's like 5'4", so she'll be much lower in the saddle. I'll have to adjust the camera probably, but I am done stalling for the Guru's Guru,
Hey, welcome
who
back.
has returned because he had to go into the Guru cave and get the extra Mojo Wire information. Are you set, sir?
Yeah.
You got your thing? Yeah.
Is
You don't look confident about it.
Nothing's being reported right
Nothing. So what you're saying is Schefter? Is it Schefter that's being late? Adam Schefter.
Maybe he's got problems with his phones, plural.
He is a problem with his phones.
Phones.
That dude's got 4 phones. I mean, the Gru's got like mine and 2 others, and he's all up in the chat room. Speaking of the chat room, has anything changed? Are there more people? Is there anybody else? Who are we shouting out there?
I just clicked off. But I'm back on. I got Carl, my buddy Carl, my nephew Robert. What's up, guys?
Carl, every time
Michael.
Every time I hear the name
Diana
Carl,
King.
My wife. That's my wife, Diana. Hi, Diana.
every time I hear the word Carl, I think Sling Blade.
The chat room
Get
is
some
kicking.
biscuits. Maybe a little mustard on them.
I get great support from my family, by the way, for my show. So I want to put a shout out to them. Thank you.
Remember the movie Sling Blade?
Yes.
That was like the famous last word. 2 people got killed in Sling Blade when they said, Carl? Hack? So it's a little something.
That's true.
Carl?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, this is what happens in live media, live radio, live podcasting, live streaming, when the people who we depend on for information are behind. And right now, our injury info is behind. I mean, you could try looking for it for yourself, but we are already looking for it for you. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to dance and say stupid things.
You know what's funny?
And we can think of something else to talk about.
Oh, I got
but
lots.
We want to know too.
I got lots. Just
You
a
got
quick,
lots.
quick,
Well,
funny
DFS.
comment. Well, that too, but just a quick, funny comment from my nephew Robert. He says buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Talking about quarterbacks taken, and Trubisky was taken ahead of Mahomes and Watson. So yeah, go Bears. That scouting department should get a raise. But anyway, back to live stuff. Yeah,
Live show.
interesting.
Well, let's talk about DFS while we get
Sure.
the rest of the injuries.
Sure.
Because we put in a nice lineup, but I can't get it. I can't get my phone because he got
Let
my
me
lineup
just
on the
throw
phone,
in.
so.
I pulled up so many different numbers and
Taking all my
stats.
stuff.
I just want to throw out just some stuff. This is good for DFS for guys if they're doing the DFS, the FanDuel, DraftKings, but also for your season-long leagues as well.
DK.
I went through and looked up. Now, again, we all know scoring is important in fantasy. If you guys aren't scoring, they're not going to win for you. You're not going to win your week. So, red zone targets. Very surprised to see some of these numbers this year for some of these players. The running back, in particular, that's leading this year in running back targets in the end zone, red zone targets. James White with 9. Clearly ahead of the rest of the pack. The next closest is 6. Now, it's only equated to 1 touchdown, so far for James White. But he's caught 8 of the 9 attempts that he's got in the red zone so
engine
far.
of that offense.
Well, he hasn't been to this point, but when we've always talked about things like regression, positive, negative, these are the types of things you look for. You have an idea who James White is as a player. You have an idea what his role is in the offense. You can kind of baseline where you think he's going to end up for the year unless he gets hurt. So far, he's got 1 touchdown. So what does that tell you? The rest of the year in these next 7, 8, 9, 10 games, he's probably going to get 4 to 5 to 6 touchdowns. You just got to figure out where it's going to be. That's the challenge.
I'm very familiar with the how James White is used in New England.
Yeah.
Because I've had him on various teams over the last 3 years. And he is the engine that makes them, if they throw on first down, they're throwing to James White.
Yeah, if he's in the game.
It's as simple as that. If
Yeah.
he's in the
Yeah,
game
if
and
he's
they're
in the
throwing
game.
on first down, they're
Yeah.
throwing to him.
Red zone targets for tight ends, some of the leaders. Obviously, Kelsey. Now, again, touchdowns haven't been there this year, but opportunity share is. He's got 9. He's leading the league in targets in the red zone. He's
2
got
of my
9.
3 teams, I got that guy.
Ingram's got 8. Jimmy Graham, surprisingly, has 8 red zone targets this year. When Breeze was in the game, he was in that one game in particular, but the game he got hurt.
Rodgers is in the game. He's playing in Green Bay now.
That's what I meant to say. 3 red zone targets last week.
He's a big target.
Yeah, really, really good. Receivers, who's leading the league? Mike Evans with 11 red zone targets. I think he's got 3 touchdowns this year so far.
Yeah, that's
Cortland Sutton on an offense that doesn't really have an offense. The Broncos, 10 targets this year in the red zone. So the bottom line is, do your research, look and see about these guys that are getting red zone opportunities, because if your guys aren't getting red zone looks, they're not going to be getting touchdowns. You can't count on the 40-yard bomb. It doesn't happen. A couple times a year, but for the most part, not very often.
unless you're Tariq Hill.
Unless you're Tyreek Hill and you're from Mahomes, who's not even playing.
It's just throw it out there and a little freak will go get it.
Yeah, so red zone targets so far. I think I remember last year, Devontae Adams was at the lead at 23 or 24 red zone targets. So the guys in the clubhouse with the lead now are sitting at 9, about the halfway point. So
We have a report in.
that's about right. So when you're considering your DFS, obviously you want guys with opportunities. And if they're in the red zone, they're going to get opportunities, going to get looks. One of the guys that's on the scene besides DJ Chark, Alden Tate from Cincinnati, 8 red zone targets.
Yeah, and we have a little Cincinnati info for you. What's this? AJ Green and Tate?
No. Green's out.
Yeah, Green's out. We knew this. I was like, well, what are you saying?
No, the players to start would be Tate and Boyd.
Yeah, Tate and Boyd.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It says
yes,
right there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't need to put AJ Green in there. I was like, what? AJ Green's playing? What?
He's inactive.
Oh, okay.
Left side.
Well, and we also know that in that game, you will have Drake Kirkpatrick, probably the stalwart of that Cincinnati defense,
Cornerback.
at corner. He will probably be blanketing Chark.
Probably.
So-
Yeah. Interesting.
I was stuck with that quandary myself. I had to choose between him or Alshon Jeffrey, and Alshon Jeffrey's been a Cowboy killer. He's beat the Cowboys up twice last year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna double down and say he's gonna beat the Cowboys up again this week.
Yeah.
So
Paralleling what I said about red zone target share, obviously snap share is important too. Snap share is just the amount of time that you're on the field.
right.
And I will say this about Elliott coming back from the injury. I know we kind of gave him a little bit of a hit there, not being a first round value. I think moving forward he will be. So if you got him, obviously you're playing him. But last couple of weeks, 95% plus snap share. He's on the field all the time. He's not coming off. So he's always on the field. He's only one now of 4 running backs that are over 90% snap share. And he's clearly one of them. So
Well, now he's trying to save his coach's job.
well, now they're in trouble. They need him on the field. He's their best player. So obviously
Well,
he's got
he is
he's
trying
got
to say he is
toe the
saving-
rock. Yeah.
He is the guy that will save Jason Garrett's job.
Yeah, maybe at this
'Cause
point.
I mean, well, listen, it's Dallas, okay? When there's blood in the water and they haven't sniffed a Super Bowl in how long now?
It's been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Take it from a Dolphin fan. It's been a while.
Since a missed snap to Romo. That was their one chance to get in, remember? Wow.
That was a good team. too.
Painful.
That was a
Yeah.
good team.
Really, really good.
That was a damn shame.
Yep.
But it's and you have a guy who a lot of people, he's a regional guy too, Lincoln Riley, and a lot of people are seeing the next big thing in the NFL, and he's right there. And a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans happen to live where, Russ? Oklahoma.
Sure.
Yeah,
Switzerville.
Switzerville.
Yeah.
That's a region. That's when you're talking about a team that owns a region. The Cowboys own Arkansas. They own Oklahoma. They own North Texas. They own their corner of Texas. They own that region. Okay, so Lincoln Riley coming to Dallas is not unthinkable.
Yeah.
At all. Especially now that I think the city's kind of turned on him. Forget hot seat. They're building a fire around the chair.
Yeah.
And they're going to handcuff his hands behind it and burn him at the stake. So
Another guy that I wasn't too particularly high on in the preseason, and he did change teams, which obviously has helped him a little bit. Carlos Hyde, the last couple of weeks, he's also one of the guys that are 90% plus snap share.
I like Carlos Hyde.
So they've been finding a way to get him involved too. So
Yeah, I like him a lot. I've actually got him on a bench where my starters are David Johnson and Saquon Barkley.
wow.
Yeah, I used him once. He got me 14.5 points.
He's probably a solid flex play at this point moving
Yeah.
forward week to week.
Yeah.
If you have him and you saved him or got him on waivers or if you draft him, whatever. He's a solid flex play based on matchups from week to week at this
right.
point.
Well, the roles have fleshed themselves out in Houston.
It's getting there.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's what we both knew. Hyde was going to be the first down, second down guy, the short yardage guy, the goal line guy, and that Duke Johnson was going to start to assume more of the role he played when he was with the Browns.
A few other teams.
No, the Browns, just the Browns.
Yeah, the Browns.
And then he was a third down guy.
You know what's interesting too is I will say this about them at Houston is coming into the season their offensive line was terrible. They were terrible the last few years, terrible this year, whatever. Last 2 games though, 0 sacks.
Right. Well, Laramie Tunsil finally found where all his favorite restaurants are in Houston, and he'd find a nice
Yeah.
apartment to live in. And
So, but-
he might be house shopping because it's nice out there.
86 points in the last 2 games for Houston with 0 sacks. So things are clearly working. And last week with the big win, clearly, yeah. So Houston's figuring it out. And if the offensive line gives them good play and they can get some sort of semblance of a running game behind Hyde, dangerous. Fuller now playing the way he is, and Hopkins, very dangerous team.
It really sneaky. Fells, their big, huge,
The tight end.
mammoth tight end.
Yeah,
that
another
they
guy,
only
Darren
use
Fells.
for blocking.
Yeah.
Well, now he doesn't have to stay in and chip anybody anymore.
Yeah.
He can actually go out on a pattern, and he's been a big red zone target lately too. So
Well,
yes,
They're actually running 2 tight ends all the time now.
yeah, oh yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, Fells has gotten 83% of snaps. Akins has gotten 73%.
Another big old long tall
So,
string.
excuse me, 86% and 73% is the two percentages for those two tight ends. So they're running two of them all the time. A lot of times they use Akins as a decoy.
Right.
And Fells is getting the end zone targets. So he's
Big red zone targets.
so they're running the two tight end as well as the Colts run the two tight ends with
Doyle and Ebron.
with Doyle and Ebron. Exactly.
Yeah, so Houston's they're definitely
So
trending positively.
Today's football game would be the Tidy Bowl.
Yeah, it would be a tidy bowl today. It really will. It's a very interesting game too. I definitely want to see that on the rotation for my watching, my viewing pleasure today. So other strong DFSs that we've got coming as we get more of the actives are coming in, and you don't have to write them down. You don't have to write them down and give them to me. You can report them. You are the guru. You can help report.
So keep
You keep right on doing. Okay, we'll get to him in a minute. So bossy. It's my show. All right, so go ahead. DFS.
Pulling it up right now.
We were talking about Jacoby Brissett. We really liked him.
Yes, game script at home in that game again. I see the Texans scoring points, but I think the Colts are a better home team than a road team.
Right.
Max running the ball well. Even though I did mention that Carlos Hyde's been getting some more snap share, he's on the field more. They're still not a running football team. So
No.
game script for me is going to be throw both sides.
I would say they're a 50-50 team.
Not sure. I'd have to look at the numbers, but maybe they're trying to get more towards that by putting Hyde on the field or being able to use him like they have.
Most definitely, especially over the last 3 or 4 games.
But the weapons that they have and game script's going to determine this. I think there's going to be some
Bill
points.
O'Brien knows that no matter how great your wide receivers may be, no matter how great your quarterback may be, you have to run the ball to take control over the game.
Yeah, well, it keeps the defense
You
honest.
can't be subjecting your defense to these 40-minute, 35-minute time of possessions where they're on 35 minutes is a long time to be on the field for a defense.
Yeah.
That needs to swing the other way
It would help for sure. Helps both sides of the ball.
a lot.
But game script for that game, running the football, I think Max is a strong play today, even though we don't have him in our lineups. I think he's a strong play. I think there's points in that game today. I think there's points in that game today. So if you're leaning fantasy-wise towards any of those guys, I love Fuller. I love Brissett on the other side for the Colts.
Get those guys.
Those are the guys I'm leaning towards in that game.
Does DeAndre Hopkins have a breakout game? Because he's had one good game. One.
He's been very solid.
Stymied, though.
But solid.
But those aren't Hopkins' numbers.
I know that. But they're winning. They're playing well. That guy's going to get his. He's still one of the top 3 or 4 receivers in football.
Projection like 4 times.
Yeah, well, maybe the projection is just too high with the baseline. Maybe they don't need a guy like that to put up those sorts of numbers. Again,
I
remember,
want him to get his projection.
hype a lot of times outperforms the actual reality. And perception reality, we discuss it all the time. So not to say you don't look at him and think he's not a top receiver. He clearly
in
is.
my analysis of Hopkins, he checked all the boxes.
Yeah,
He did. He checked all the boxes.
he's a top 5 talent in the NFL, no question. So
Yeah, well, and now that Ramsey's gone, the pressure's off a little bit.
for sure.
But he is going up against what I would consider to be the second best defense in that division now.
Pretty tough. Yeah.
And they're playing a zone defense with second and third string talent.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Well, Fuller's
playing
come
well.
on the scene the last few weeks. Obviously, he's a deep
Last
threat
few
and a
weeks,
talent.
he had like 200 and
I know.
something yards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's healthy.
3 touchdowns.
Now that he's
and
playing, he's a part of the offense. So that offense
I
clicks.
hate him.
Yeah, it clicks.
I hate him. Yeah, how can you tell I have DeAndre Hopkins on a team?
You want to talk Raiders, Packers? That's an interesting
bitter.
game.
Raiders, Packers.
Yeah, what do you think?
A rematch of Super Bowl number 2.
And I'm sure they're all thinking
Is it
about
Super Bowl 2?
Super Bowl 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One was with Kansas City.
Yeah, Green
Yes.
Bay and KC. I was wrong about the Raiders, I think. They're
A little bit.
they're playing pretty well.
Currently, you are.
Yeah, they're running the ball pretty well. David Carr, I think 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. He's managing the team pretty well. Their defense is okay. I mean, they're 4-3, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true.
They're playing Green Bay today in Green Bay. And let me tell you something. Green Bay was lucky those refs were the way they were on Monday night because they didn't win that football game. So
it made the meme show.
yeah, and I'm not the guy to say one play causes this, one play causes that. But on that last drive with those 2 penalties, the last couple of drives, without those penalties, that's a different game. So Green Bay, somewhat one-dimensional. The injuries certainly on offense are hurting them. and they don't stop the run. They're like second worst against the run, over 5.3 yards per carry against. So you got to think it's the Josh Jacobs show today for the Raiders.
I don't think the Raiders are going to surprise the Packers like they did the Bears at all. They're missing 3 receivers. Dwayne Harris, Zay Jones is not playing today. Not playing.
Does not grasp the playbook.
He's not playing. He is inactive. And along with Tyrell Williams, who's dealing with plantar fasciitis, of course.
Plantar fasciitis.
That
That's
too.
okay. It's easy for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a really hard thing to say. Go ahead.
Sounds like bursitis
so
in
you're
the
looking at
shoulders.
Hunter Renfro, Doss, for the receivers. Of course, Waller is probably the
Top
best
target
player.
this year,
You
yeah.
know,
I traded him away.
Well, clearly the game script for the Raiders is going to be run the football. And if Green Bay can't stop the run, I mean, then it's going to be maybe a
Anyway,
similar
that is their
competitive
soft
game.
underbelly, so that's the only way that they're going to get anywhere. But
Well, Jacobs would be a good player.
passing wise, Carr is a sit if you in fantasy, of course. I mean, he's only averaging 251 yards. You're going to use him maybe, on the big buy date, which is week 12 or something like that against the Jets, and that kind of thing. But otherwise, there's no use for Carr in fantasy at this point. On Green Bay side, of course, Adams up. Geronimo Allison and Valdez Scantling are both playing today. They're both
good.
active.
Good for
hyphen.
Green Bay.
So that's interesting there. I like Allison a lot today, by the way.
I like Lazard. I like Rogers, his buddy, his pal, the guy with the locker next to his.
Don't chase Lazard in DFS
Why?
or in
He's
leagues
he's
today.
a pet. No, I'm not talking about DFS. Just
Anything.
in general. I've got him sitting on a bench, stashed away in a place. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe he blows up. Maybe he doesn't. Who
Okay.
knows?
All right.
I like to on seasonal leagues. I like to take a guy and stash him on the bench.
You want to go?
You see him you see him trending upwards, and then you see the quarterback, saying nice things about him. It's like, oh, especially a diva like Rodgers.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
listen.
so-
They're healthy. If they get healthy, the Green Bay's clearly one of the best teams in football. Their defense is legit. They're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Okay, so we have actives coming in.
Yes, we do.
What do we
Yes,
got? Go ahead,
do.
just read them off. Just fire them out. What do we got?
Well, right now, in the 49er Redskin game,
Right.
we're missing Deebo Samuel for the 49ers, the receiver.
Okay, he's active or he's inactive?
Out.
Inactive.
Okay.
Inactive. And Josh Norman will be missing for the Redskins.
Okay, so Josh Norman inactive.
Right.
Okay.
Colt McCoy is inactive.
Okay, so that will be the usual.
Yeah, I mean, he's the third banana right now anyway, right?
Right.
I think it's
Yes.
Keenum 1,
Yeah.
Haskell's 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haskins.
Haskins, yeah. Vernon Davis is out, of course, and Jordan Reed is IR.
Jordan Reed. See, we used to think his name is Jordan Reeder.
Ask him. He thinks his name is
Because it ends
Batman.
with IR all
He's
the
had
time.
so many concussions. He doesn't know what his own name
Yeah,
is.
so if you're a tight end desperado, which there's other guys, but there's Jeremy Springer, I guess, is a healthy body, but,
I'd rather have George Springer. Go Astros.
Exactly. So that's going on there. In the Colts-Texans game, there's no fantasy impacts, but I just want to talk about the game for a second. This is a really good game for T.Y. Hilton. In his career against
Yeah.
against the Texans, he's got 1,448 yards in 9 games. Check that, 14 games. He's averaging over 103 yards a game against the Texans. He has 9 career touchdowns against the Texans. So that's his biggest numbers against any team in the NFL. And he's healthy, playing. And a really good fantasy play today. Probably one of the best plays today is T.Y. Hilton. So I just want to bring his name up. Nothing to report fantasy-wise in the Vikings-Lions matchup. I like the Vikings a lot today. The Lions are the 28th ranked pass defense in the National Football League with their 5 games.
Even with Darius Slay.
Yes, even with Darius Slade. I like Galladay too, though, because they're at home. So that's going to be an interesting fantasy game. For you people wondering about Cousins, he started off really bad, but he has passed for 629 yards in the last 2 games, and he is on fire, along with Stephon
Minnesota's still going to
Diggs.
draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs. Cousins good play today, and 4 days later he'll be at Washington, or he'll be home hosting the Washington Redskins. Again, another good play, especially if you're Mahomes owners.
A little
Go out and get
redemption
that
game
guy.
for him. Cousins, no? That's a narrative game, right? Against his former team?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
He'll be a little
Huge.
motivated.
Huge.
All right, so no other significant inactives. Everybody else is active and ready to go.
Rams Falcons. Again, there's no significant fantasy impacts there. And
Other than the ones we've already
right,
reported.
still got a couple games to check, but we'll see what's out there.
And what was that? Terrell Williams has what? That plantar fasciosis.
Fasciitis.
He's got a foot thing.
Agili, isn't it a pasta?
It's going
Gonna
to
call
keep-
it a foot thing.
Yeah.
It's going to keep him out multiple games.
There's
This
no
is-
spray for that.
There is no short
Maybe
cure,
a cream.
no short healing process for that.
Could he put his feet in like one of those pools with the little fishes that,
And,
eat the side of your feet or anything like that? No?
That's
Could
not
that
good for the
help?
Raiders. This is a guy that had a touchdown in every one of the first 4 games that he played in. And
Maybe he goes to one of those machines, the Dr. Scholl's machines, where you stand on it.
At
and they show you
Walmart?
where,
Yeah, I think I'm a
maybe that'll
50.
help.
I'm a
I don't
50.
know. It's-
Yeah.
you know, as far as receivers go, that was the one Raider receiver to have. Now, you know, Hunter Renfro, Doss, I couldn't tell you. As far as besides Waller, the tight end, the 4 guys Zay Jones is inactive, Dwayne Harris inactive.
And an
Never been a
Uber
Zay
driver-
Jones guy,
And
though.
an Uber driver that played JUCO.
Buffalo got rid of Zay Jones. They caught him. He was less than a 50% catch percentage rate last year with them. I mean, he was a deep threat. That's why it's what he was supposed to be for
Right,
them.
but
Jones got
But
cut by the Raiders?
No, the
Yeah.
Bills. The Bill.
Oh,
He was
the
a
Bills
Bill
traded,
last year.
traded.
Well, they
Was it
traded
trade?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded him.
Yeah, but it's just not very good.
Yeah, now they got John Brown, who's a home run hitter, and part of that class of 2014. He's fantastic. So
Yeah.
Well,
they
in
have
that
no use for
instance,
Jones.
you probably have a former Bills coach on the staff somewhere, or somebody who's got a relationship with the kid. We can
Yeah.
get that specific to go after a wide receiver clear across the country.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
You
there's a
it's
relationship
obviously
there.
Somebody knows the kid, but
Yeah.
if he's not playing, he's been there like I don't know, 8-9 days now. If that means he doesn't get the playbook. That means he's not learning the playbook fast
Not
enough.
happening.
Not happening. Okay.
You want to go through the rest of DFS real quick? We never finished the running backs, the receivers, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Now I got to pull it up though because I was
Fire
looking
it
at,
up.
I was looking at something very interesting. We're talking about the weather and how it affects the games too. as we
There's a
finish.
lot of that going on.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's not today. There's only 2 games that are in question today.
There's a
some-
couple of soggies. We had was it subtropical storm Nestor?
Yes.
That blew through. Actually, what it was here's your weather report. You have subtropical storm Nestor. You had a tropical storm crop up in the Gulf of Mexico, and there happened to be one of these big, huge jet stream, fast-moving highs that was going by, and it ripped it apart and spread it out all over the south and spread it out all over the southeast area, and it's now farting it out into the Gulf of Mexico through the Mid-Atlantic. So it's sent a lot of heavy lines of showers. Those squalls got broke up, but they're still squalls.
Yeah, what pissed me off during the baseball game last night is the 14 tornado warnings that I got in
Right?
the 8 and
You
9
too.
thing in the at-bats. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and you can't
we
even
live in the
change your
same general
channel.
area.
That pissed me off. Like, you want to rant? How can they control my effing cable to the point where I can't even change my TV remote? I couldn't shut my TV off.
Thank you for not dropping an F-bomb.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've endeavored not to drop any more F-bombs because we're going to go to terrestrial radio, and the FCC will have something to say about that.
I
so.
don't mind a warning, okay? Send me an alert on my phone, but don't stop me from changing my frickin' TV. That I can't change the channel, I can't turn the TV off, I can't lower the volume. I mean, what the hell's wrong with that?
That phone thing is creepy as hell, though, bro.
I don't know.
It
There's
is,
too much
especially-
control.
Right. Well, especially when you're in like a restaurant and everybody gets an Amber Alert.
Oh, it's
warning.
like you're looking for a mass shooter.
Oh my God!
It's insanity. I know. It's like, what are we doing here? It's
well, it's alerts. Everybody get their alerts, but that's a bit much.
what happens is in society,
Especially since it's 20 miles out into the swamp.
further. It was out past Seminole. It was way the hell out in no man's land. But whatever, I get
Right
it.
in the
I get
middle
it.
of bottom of the ninth in the ALCS.
Send
What
me
is
a
wrong with you?
text. Send me the alert in the national broadcast system. But that's it.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, okay. Back to fantasy. That pissed me off last night so bad. Really, you're watching the. I'll stop. I almost cursed there again. Okay. Receivers today. We talked about Will Fuller.
We've been so good.
Yeah, we talked about Will Fuller on the other side in that potentially high-scoring game today. I think
Right.
he's burst on the scene.
Hopkins.
I actually do have Golden Tate in my lineup today. I gave Carl bad advice. I took Golden Tate in one of the lineups. But no, listen, both those guys are like right here for me.
No, I know.
Yeah, so Mark Andrews, a little bit of a surprise this year. I don't think he was in many draft boards this year for teams for tight ends.
That's
I
a
like
terrific tight end.
We have him in.
him. Yeah, I got him too. As a matter
He's
of
a
fact.
top 5 play every week.
I do have Kenny Galladay in the flex, which I do like.
Big dude.
And the Bears Saints today. I'm not a Bears guy. We banged on Trubisky. I get all that, but the Saints, they've been winning a lot with Bridgewater. I see it ending today. I think the Bears defense comes to play. Low scoring game. Again, I don't think as long as the quarterback doesn't lose the game for the Bears, I think the Bears are just in a good spot today at home.
I think you're still looking at the same kind of thing that you did with the Saints and Cowboys. A low-scoring game, but the Saints going to come out on top.
Okay, yeah. I mean, low scoring, I agree with. I just think certain times of the year, certain games of the year, regardless of matchups, regardless of who the teams are, they're just spot games. And I just think that game in particular is a spot game. I just think Bears are in the right spot. So we'll see. Should be a good one. That's what I got.
All right.
Season long.
All right.
Yeah, season long.
It's 12 o'clock. Look at this. We ran the hell out of gas.
Yeah,
That's
so-
okay because we ran out of prepared material.
timing.
You
Wait,
still
weather.
have- you still
Real
have-
quick.
Okay.
Weather. I found something interesting. I know the weather's changing in football
I
right
was
now.
going to change to weather. I thought I already did the weather report with subtropical storm Nestor. But
Everybody
okay.
assumes that, if you have rain, stuff like that, it affects the game of play. Actually, rain helps the offense. I
Yeah,
did some research.
it's wind. That affects
and
football
cold.
games.
Wind and cold. And I'll tell you why cold makes a difference.
Wind and cold both suck.
Freezing or below. Okay, the average metabolic rate for players increases fivefold, which means slower reaction time and just less performance. Also, fumbling rates go up about 35%, a third, when you're in temperatures that are freezing or below.
How intelligent do you think our viewers are?
Well, I'm hoping they're very intelligent to share this
They-
information.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about today though.
Yeah.
Seattle, 75% chance of rain at kickoff, 50% by halftime.
Yeah.
Actually, 70% by halftime, 60 to 50% in the second half. It's a light rain. It's a drizzle. It's a Seattle rain. It is what it is.
Yeah.
50
They're used to
degrees.
that.
Mist.
It's 50 degrees. It'll be a little bit of a hindrance, something the Ravens aren't used to, but nothing that's going to affect the game. It's still the over-under.
Baltimore can be dreary.
Right, the
I've been
over-under.
there when it's dreary.
The over-under is 50 points. It's opened at 50.5. The money's been going on the over. And Seattle, in 12 of the last 15 games, their games have gone over the number. So that's adds to that game.
Bet.
I got
yeah.
one more cold weather information for you. Very interesting. I know we're not cold yet, but again, looking forward, looking ahead, which we have to do if you're in playoffs or if you think your team's going to be in the playoffs in your season-long leagues. The road team, on average, in the last 20 years, when the temperature is 33 degrees or less, has only won 25% of the time. Boom. That right there is a massive
Huge,
number
huge.
that I've never even fallen upon. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Last 23 years, 30 degrees or below are 20%. And it goes up slightly, 31 to 40 degrees, just at 30%. 41 to 50 degrees, 40%. So you can clearly see road teams, for whatever reason, have a severe disadvantage when the weather gets really, really cold. So you got to look at some
Even
of the...
if they're from a similar climate?
Just going by what the stats are. I mean, it's an insanity how much the differences are. So, again, we're not dealing with it today. There's some rain and stuff like that. Rain is not a factor like we talked about, but wind and cold temperatures are, and we're getting there. So we're going to turn the pages.
Let's think of some stadiums now, of course, all across the north. Detroit is still an indoor stadium.
Indoor,
Yes.
Ford Field, yeah.
Yes.
And Minnesota, is
Indoor.
still
Indoor, U.S. Bank Stadium.
Are you reaching for indoors or outdoors?
What other stadiums? No, I'm just trying to name the indoor stadiums
Okay,
because the rest of them are outdoors.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the rest of them, I mean, you got Lambeau, you've got Soldier Field.
Yeah. New England.
Everybody's outside.
Jets, Giant. I mean, all these other
Yeah,
stadiums
they're all
are just...
outside.
Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Cincinnati, sure.
Yeah.
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
many.
Oh
Philly?
my God! If there's a town that should have a dome stadium,
Yeah, it's
it's Buffalo.
Oh.
My
Yeah, they
God.
get the Lake
You got
Erie-
something against lake effect snow?
Yeah,
I
lake
mean,
effect.
Oh,
That's it.
and those freaks like it. They're
Yeah.
like, you know, they're like Bane and
If you guys
the Dark
recall,
Knight Returns.
I
You
think,
know, it's
I
like,
think it was 3 years ago when they had a
the
snowstorm
darkness.
that moved the game to Ford Field.
Yes.
Because of a massive snowstorm
Yeah.
that buried the stadium. They couldn't clear the snow out.
could not clean the snow out.
The game went to Ford Field
You know,
in Detroit.
But they feel like they feel about snow the same way Bane feels about darkness.
Darkness.
You hide in the snow. The snow is my friend. You know, it's like
He's
God.
so Sean Connery. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's a really
The
bad.
first time I saw Bane, I said, it's got to be Sean Connery.
All right.
They're dubbing his voice in.
Okay, we're out of gas. We're out of stuff. Anything else?
Um,
That's it. We've had the weather report. And
Good
okay.
luck in your season longs.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting day today. It
We're
really
halfway
is.
through. Most seasons, most leagues go what? 12
Go
weeks?
Saquon.
12 weeks? 13, 12 weeks, right?
Well, like I said, that Raven Seattle game is really a big game and should be very enjoyable at 4 o'clock. We're really looking forward to that one.
High
Two
scoring,
good,
hoping.
speedy defenses, though.
And 2 really good quarterbacks. One of them probably the MVP.
Yeah, no,
Right now.
there's no doubt. Now that
Yeah.
Mahomes went down,
And
Yeah.
an epic aviary struggle.
Yeah.
so that's why I wanted to bring that game up.
Russell Wilson.
Because you do know the bird is the word, right?
That is Bird Bowl.
Who got Russell Wilson,
Mow,
by
mow.
the way?
All right. Well, on behalf of myself and Damaz, say goodbye to the nice people
Goodbye, nice people.
and the Guru's Guru,
Always a pleasure.
where you can find him on Facebook at the Guru's Guru. Chime in there. Go ahead and request membership. He's pretty easy like that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to
Come
send,
on down.
You don't have to send him any
I'll chew on a
nudes or
dog.
anything. He'll just come on down. That's the Guru's Guru on Facebook.
Snakes and
Also-
spiders for the kids.
Right, and the the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, both the community page and the fan page, or the group page and the fan page. By all means, log into both those because we put a lot of content out on both of those both ways. You can catch the Maz on MLB Joy Us at MLB Joy Us on Instagram.
That's correct.
And you still haven't opened a Twitter account.
I have it, but
I'm
I don't
going
want to go on there.
beat you with a stick. I
Instagram.
swear.
Find me on Instagram.
I will find you on Instagram.
Yeah.
We will find you. And of course, at Gonzo Radio, at the Gonzo Radio Show on Twitter, at Gonzo Radio Podcast on Instagram, at Gonzo Radio Sports Desk on Instagram. Go like, follow, especially Sports Desk, because we like to go back and forth with you. And this show is best watched live. I'm not even going. I'm going to archive it on YouTube, but this is best watched live. Bookmark this website. That way, you go there, boom, and then watch now, and bam, you're here.
Yeah, just listen. You don't have to look at our ugly faces.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
listen. We're giving you information, so just listen.
Yeah, listen, take notes.
Yeah.
We will be sending the audio version, but like I said, this information is pertinent now. This is time-sensitive information. I'll send the audio, but you have to listen every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. What? You say you were going to say something?
Yeah, real quick. You get more information in this show than you do on any of the fantasy football shows I've seen on TV. You get numbers here, and we back it up. When we say something,
Right.
we back it up.
Right, and I could put lower thirds and graphics and banners on this, but I figure it's just friends disseminating, over. I mean, I still have my. Where's my coffee cup? Somebody took my coffee.
I have my own.
So okay, yeah. See, so we're your buddies, we're your pals. For now, until we become big shots and we get bought by a network, and then we actually have to get haircuts and shit. So and there, I said the first curse word. We'll also be coming to terrestrial radio in a longer format as well. And we have a live show coming up November 3rd at the Smoke Inn we're going to call it Deerfield Beach. It's unincorporated Broward County. We go to all the nicest places.
I may
So-
even have a cigar that day with you. How's
Oh,
that?
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have no choice because there's going to be cigars getting smoked. But, okay, on behalf of myself and the Maz and the Guru's Guru, I'm Big Daddy Gonzo. Thank you so much for watching this week. Again, good luck today. Hope you win, except for everybody who's playing me. And we'll catch you guys next week at 11 a.m. sharp.